It was um, quite a demonstration of Trump's guilt this morning when Mueller had his brief statement. It wasn't a press conference; it was just a statement. But I think it spoke volumes as to why Mueller finally felt it necessary to, excuse me, there we go, to step out and try to counter the steady stream of vile bullshit that comes from Trump's mouth and Republicans' mouths and Barr's mouth and every little twit on Fox. I think Mueller finally realized he had to, in his own words, state what was in his report. And so he did. The thing that was most important to me in what he said, I've got his whole the transcript of his statement, but here's what he said, quote, as alleged, he's very careful with his words, as alleged by the grand jury in an indictment. I guess that's true. A grand jury indictment is an allegation, but it's usually based on pretty heavy fact. But never mind. As alleged by the grand jury in an indictment, Russian intelligence officers who are part of the Russian military launched a concerted attack on our political system. The indictment alleges that they used sophisticated cyber techniques to hack into computers and networks used by the Clinton campaign. They stole private information and then released that information through fake online identities and through the organization WikiLeaks. He went on. The releases were designed and timed to interfere with our election and to damage a presidential candidate. At the same time, as the grand jury alleged in a separate indictment, a private Russian entity engaged in a social media operation where Russian citizens posed as Americans in order to influence an election. These indictments contain allegations, and we are not commenting on the guilt or the innocence of any specific defendant. Every defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. Let me add, except the ones who can't be held accountable, the ones who are above the law. Oh, wait, I'm making that plural. The one who is above the law, and that is this piece of rancid shit who is the president, Donald Trump. Let me go back to Mueller. The indictments allege, and the other activities in our report describe, efforts to interfere in our political system. They needed to be investigated and understood. And that is among the reasons why the Department of Justice established our office. That is also a reason we investigated efforts to obstruct the investigation. The matters we investigated were of paramount importance. It was critical for us to obtain full and accurate information from every person we questioned. When a subject of an investigation obstructs that investigation or lies to investigators, it strikes at the core of their government's effort to find the truth and hold wrongdoers accountable. As set forth in the report, he goes on, after that investigation, if we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so. We did not, however, make that determination as to whether the president did commit a crime. End quote, Robert Mueller from his statement today. Now, I don't know what could be clearer. What Mueller is saying, if we had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so. But he didn't say that. We have, as President of the United States, a criminal. Donald Trump has skated away through using all sorts of means and manner to do so. He skated away from accepting any responsibility in his sordid, filthy, useless life. He's always managed to somehow find the weak spot in whomever and however many whomevers are challenging him. He finds the weak spot, focuses on that, and then skates right through. He does it with the women he has extramarital affairs with. He does it with the bankers he steals from. He does it with the contractors and workers that he takes advantage of and doesn't pay. He does it all the time. And now that he's president, he continues, only at an exponentially more intense and repetitive scale. Donald Trump knew that if he were, through some fluke, to become president, he alone would be above the law. That he alone could do anything and everything that he chose to do with zero consequences. Unless there was a committee in Congress willing to say, enough, you fucking criminal, enough, you fucking shyster, enough, you fucking grifter. We're going to begin an impeachment inquiry. It doesn't make any difference at this point to speculate on whether or not the Republicans in the Senate would convict this miserable son of a bitch. That doesn't matter now. It will matter if and when this filthy package of law-breaking put together by Trump and his gangsters ever makes it to the Senate for trial. Robert Mueller said given the rules, he could not indict a sitting president because that's Congress's responsibility, the House. The House has the responsibility of indicting a criminal fuck named Donald Trump. It's up to the jury, the Senate, as to whether or not to convict this miserable bastard. But if the House, I don't care who the Speaker is, if the House at this point refuses to begin an impeachment inquiry, which, by the way, will then bring forth all sorts of information that the Democrats can use in their various races against Republicans to say, this is what your office holder or your candidate has been hiding, protecting, trying to shuffle past you. This. And they can hold up the evidence pertaining to Trump's guilt. Trump is a liar and a cheat. I mean, what the fuck? 10,000 lies in a little over 2 years? Documented lies? This is... See, there I go again. Running out of vocabulary. I guess that's why I say fuck so much. You know, I can't think of the proper words to use to describe this bastard. I just can't. But Trump now has to feel that he can do any fucking thing he wants to do. And the scum in the U.S. Senate and House will protect him because they, too, are criminals. They are willing to abide a criminal president. And when I think of what these cocksuckers did to Bill Clinton because of a cocksucker event, when I think what they did to Clinton, the screaming and caterwauling the Republican senators made when it went to trial, that Clinton was guilty, the most guilty individual since Hitler invaded Poland. And now these silent, savage Christian cocksuckers are just sitting there in the Senate doing nothing. They have indicted themselves. The members of the Senate, the Republican members of the Senate, have indicted themselves with their silence. It's astonishing. How about you? Did you buy into that argument or meme or bullshit line that the Republicans put out going back the past 40 or 50 years, that they were the party of law and order and respect for the Constitution? That they were the party of morals, Christian morals. Well, they are. Christian morals are fucking streaks of garbage. Christian morals mean nothing, absolutely nothing, because they're founded on nothing, a religion of bullshit. But didn't you buy into that? I did. I guess I was in my 20s or 30s, and I started thinking, wow, the Republican Party, they may be hardcore bastards and this and that and the other thing. I didn't have the right vocabulary 40 years ago. But they are the party of believing in the Constitution, believing in the rule of law, and then along came Nixon, right? Believing in truth-telling. I don't know why I bought into it, even to the degree that I did. And it was very, very temporary, because I started to realize with Nixon and Pappy Bush and Reagan and Junior Bush that every fucking one of these Republican leaders was a liar and a fraud and a deceiver. The very things that their own fucking Bible tells them to beware of. Beware the deceiver. Beware the liar. Their imaginary God even told them, do not bear false witness, motherfucker, or I will really stomp your shit into the ground. But these Christians, that doesn't mean anything. That's bullshit. Now, if you are a Christian who doesn't subscribe to any of this crap, then you and I have no disagreement whatsoever. I've said over and over again, I don't give a shit if you worship a bar of soap. Just don't bring your fucking bar of soap and push it in my face and tell me I'm going to burn in hell if I don't believe in your bar of soap. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Christians with whom I have so much contempt for are the vast majority, 98, 99, 99.5% of them, who themselves are liars and deceivers and fools, but they think they can just go pray it away. And they're willing to back Trump. Of the 60 million votes, whatever it was that he got, I wonder how many of those people are professing Christians. I'll bet you about 98% of them, which means you are fucking liars and deceivers and fraudsters, and that your whole religious structure is garbage because of your deceit, because of what you do, your hypocrisy. Oh, can't seem to stay away from that subject, can I? So here's Trump. And then immediately that hog that is his press secretary, that devout uber Christian, that filthy goddamn Sarah Huckabee Sanders, steps out with a statement, one of her typical statements. Immediately after which Trump tweets some bullshit, the same shit over and over and over again. He doesn't give a fuck what he's charged with. This has been his life. This has been the way he has lived since he just squirted out of his old lady. He's a liar, a deceiver, a con artist, a grifter. He wouldn't know the fucking truth if it came and bit him on the ass. I've never seen, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I can't remember seeing, let me put it that way, somebody with such a massive amoral persona and consciousness than Trump. Here is your evidence. This is what I put together over 2 years. Here it is. And Robert Mueller, have even gone so far as to tell you this is as far as I can go constitutionally. It is now up to you, House of Representatives, to indict this pig. What does Mueller have to say to these fuckers to get it through Nancy Pelosi and her posse's head? If Trump has not committed impeachable offenses, there are none. There's no such thing as an impeachable offense. This filthy fucker gave our country to the Russians, and they in turn gave it to him. If Trump has not committed impeachable offenses, then get it the fuck out of the Constitution, because it's no longer valid. It means nothing unless the House begins an impeachment inquiry. Now, I've gone back and forth on this. I really have. Not anymore. When you have someone with the dignity and respect for the truth, such as Robert Mueller, who worked his ass off for 2 years, investigated, brought indictments against the people he could, got convictions against the people who deserved them, took it right up to the fucking front door of the White House. And he was stopped by the U.S. Constitution there. But he took everything that he had put together, everything that he and dozens, if not hundreds, of investigators had put together, showing obstruction of justice, showing how our system of electing members of Congress and the president are no longer sacrosanct. They are no longer protected from foreign invasion. He showed us, here it is. But this is as far as I can go. It's now up to you, America. It's up to you. Do you want to live under a criminal asshole like Trump and shut your fucking mouth while he tears everything to pieces? Or do you want to make one more attempt, because you've made several, to live in a nation based on the rule of law? What do you want to do, America? That's what Robert Mueller is saying. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.